There's not a lot of big towns in that area, but Lowryville, Big Ivy, Martins Mill, Lutz, this could be heading your way. So that's definitely a concern. Inside that one, there's a couple different pockets of rotation. The one south of Savannah that we're watching near Maddox, and then the other one down near Brunton Branch. So pretty quiet currently in McNairy County, but I still think you got some strong winds coming in to McNairy County. You kind of see those that are approaching the Hornsby area. We'll try to get a couple other looks at that northern line here that we've also been watching. So lot of lightning still, and some hail cores, it looks like, up into northern Henry County. Paris, it looks like maybe some small hail. That looks like some very heavy rain coming on for you. Your severe thunderstorm warning out till 9:15. We've got a little thunderstorm west of Parsons as well that we are keeping an eye on. And Huntington looks like heavy rain currently coming in for you, and just some more rain showers moving through Madison County. We'll go ahead and check out that wind line that we've been watching. I'm going to get rid of some of these graphics I have. Give me a minute. Starting to, maybe I can help out my system here. Jordan, go ahead, take over for a minute, and then I'll get back to the wind line.
Just a few minutes ago, got a text to our weather chat again that we are seeing some hail in Big Sandy. That's northern Benton County, just to the north of town there. This is the scan before the current scan. And we definitely have a bit of a core going up there right on the Benton-Henry County line, just to the east of Springville. I can actually take a slice of that and see how tall that storm is. I actually should probably do that with our Camden radar since we're in Benton County. So give me just a moment. I've got to switch it back over. There you see our storm energy starting to drop, especially west of Jackson. We're also behind this system. We're going to see temperatures crash. Remember, we're under a freeze warning too. So we're going to go from almost 80 degrees to fighting to stay in the 30s over the next few hours. It's going to be a very cold start tomorrow, but let's get you that look at the Camden radar and see if we can slice that storm here over Big Sandy. Now, the hail core is not showing up nearly as well in Camden, but we can still give you a look at how tall this storm is. But that was right about where that was. Turns out our Camden radar may not be able to do that, or it was a bad radar scan. But we'll pop it back over to, actually, Fort Campbell's probably the closest to this. And we'll scan it that way, and there we go. Some of the heavier precipitation being lofted to about 20,000 feet. That doesn't scream hail return to me, but these storms, they're tall actually. Some of these rain returns are going all the way up to 50,000 feet. So there are definitely some towering storms tonight, Joel. But it doesn't look like I'm seeing much of that hail return like I was expecting to.
All right, here's what we're looking at. Kind of take a wide view at things again. If you're hoping to catch the last hour of the Oscars or whatnot, you can go to abc.com or download the ABC app and watch them that way if you have access to the internet. So if you can send us messages online, you should be able to watch, I believe, on abc.com. But not a guarantee, but you should be able to. So here's a look at our line of thunderstorms racing east of Jackson now. There's that hail core up to the north. We'll get back to that here in a minute. Severe thunderstorm warning till 9. That's another 9 minutes. We'll see what 8 minutes. We'll see what they do here in Jackson. Here's our tornado warning. Still looks like some hail mixing on in with that. But the hail core is really kind of diminished a little bit. But it was pretty intense as it went through Stantonville. So you probably got some hail, though, at least coming into the Savannah area. Let's take a look at the rotation. So there it is. There's where there could be a possible tornado. Definitely some very strong winds. And there's another little area of rotation here between Nixon and Counts. But it's this northern one to me that looks the ugliest there as it's moving now close to the Hardin County line. But also still some area of rotation in and around Counts if you're watching us there. Here's some straight line winds, which is coming through into the Hornsby area, approaching Henderson currently. There's our hail core that Jordan was talking about. Some very large hail north of Paris, it looks like, still coming down. Huntington's pretty quiet for you. The northern severe thunderstorm warning, that's out till 9:15 tonight. Parsons, looks like you just got some heavy rain and a handful of lightning strikes for you in Decaturville. Huntington, I think your severe weather threat looks like it's pretty much wrapping up for you. And then down south in Jackson, we've seen the worst of it come by, just a handful of lightning strikes. The reason this didn't get too bad into Madison County, Humboldt southward, is because we had those little cells out in front, and I think that helped eat up some of the storm energy. We didn't get those down into Hardin County, and we didn't get those up into Henry County. So that's why those are the two pockets of the strongest storms that we're dealing with right now. But look at all the lightning strikes, about 500 lightning strikes over the last 10 minutes. Between Savannah and Counts, there's our tornado warning. Again, this stuff all looks non-severe to me, but there is a severe thunderstorm warning still out. So you're still having some gusty winds, though, some heavy rain and lightning. Down south into Mississippi, some of this may try to strengthen a little bit, according to the Storm Prediction Center, in the next couple of hours as it tracks up to the northeast. So we may not quite be done at 10 p.m. in Selmer, maybe closer to 11 p.m. For Selmer and Savannah when your storm threat's done. But again, very large hail up to the north. Jordan, are you seeing anything I'm missing with that tornado warning storm?
No, it looks like it's actually starting to bow out, which would remove most of the tornado threat and make it more of a straight line wind threat. And we can give you, whoa, look at these wind returns. Yeah. Let's turn off warnings for just a moment. We'll give you some of these wind pixels. This is going to be south of Savannah, but still, these mix down to the surface. That is going to cause some problems. And we've got several thousand people across West Tennessee already without power. Whether it be straight line winds, tornadoes, we won't know for sure until tomorrow. But most likely it's going to be straight line winds because most of these came in as this line was coming through. But we're also getting a new severe thunderstorm warning here within the next few minutes. It's going to be downstream of the Madison County warning. So this is going to include Lexington, probably all the way to the Tennessee River, if I had to guess how they were going to do this. So I'll let you know when that happens. It hasn't popped yet in the Weather Service system, so we'll see it when we get it. But not seeing a whole lot of rotation there in Hardin County, but I am seeing some pretty gnarly wind signatures.
Yeah, very strong winds there. You can see it very clearly on Max 1 with those winds going through. So the new severe thunderstorm warning is probably going to be issued down here. I'm guessing that it's going to be in this area is probably what's going to get issued. Over here, then down here. So this is probably where the new warning is going to come in. So it would be right over, probably include you, Savannah, with a different severe thunderstorm warning for the main line that's coming by. As you notice, they did already issue one up here. That's from the National Weather Service out of Nashville. That's their first severe thunderstorm warning of the night. We've also got the warning out still for Camden. That's out till 9:15 on that one. And the warning for Jackson is set to expire here in 4 minutes. But, as I said, look like they're going to issue a new warning that is going to be in this general area. So, Parsons, Sardis, and a second warning, it looks like probably coming in for you in Savannah. All right, here's a look at what's left. I think the severe threat is done in Jackson. Again, if the storm's passed and you want to watch the Oscars, if you have access to the internet, I think you can go to abc.com or you can download the ABC app. All right, so here's a look at the storm line. We've seen the worst of it pass us in Jackson, but still a tornado warning tonight down into eastern Hardin County. This should expire here. We should get a new one out along the leading edge of it here any minute. Very large hail, I think, came down between Savannah and Counts earlier, did go right through the Nixon area, maybe got some hail in South Savannah as well. But looks like the hail core has begun to kind of fall apart a little bit. But here's where our Doppler radar thought there was hail. I'm not sure about the Savannah stuff. There might have been, but there definitely was between Stantonville and Mickey a lot of hail that did come on by. And then there's our rotation still. What's left, there's a couple different pockets of rotation out on the leading edge of this storm. None of them scream tornado on the ground to me, but again, rotation still between Nixon and Counts. You guys have been getting hit there, it seems like, for the last 20 minutes. And then another little area of rotation. If you're watching us in Savannah, I don't see a tornado threat coming in into town for you right now. But areas east of Nixon Counts still under that warning. So here's the wind line approaching Hornsby, Henderson right now. You've got another round of some gusty winds coming into Selmer. We haven't had any reports of anything too bad along this southern line, but still can't rule out a couple of winds, maybe up to 50, 60 miles an hour. Large hail continues tonight over into eastern Henry County, down into Springville, extending south into Brewston. You've seen the worst of it in Paris and Puryear, as well as Palmersville's Gleason. I think your severe thunderstorm threat is done, but you notice there is still a severe thunderstorm warning for areas to the east of you tonight as that line comes by. Some scattered thunderstorms, maybe some 40-mile-an-hour winds hanging around the Parsons area right now. Again, Huntington, I keep showing you this. I think you're pretty much done. All right, so it sounds like there is that new warning. We'll go ahead and show it to you and see where it is. But again, I'm assuming it was down south. So, all right, so there's our new warning. We'll draw it on for you. So there's the new warning. It includes Chester, Hardeman, Henderson, and McNairy counties. That's out until 9:45. So that's our new severe thunderstorm warning that replaces the old one. Jordan, what's the verbiage on that?
Good news is that leading stuff did, in fact, weaken the southern portion of this line. This is tagged for nickel-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that's a downtrend from what we saw about an hour ago with the northern section of this line. I've got our Lexington camera pulled up just right before it gets into town here. We'll see what we can get. I don't know that we have an airport in Lexington that can give us ground truth with any sort of telemetry data, but we'll keep an eye and see what we see with the camera, and we'll tell you what we see.
All right, another quick look here at our tornado-warned storm in Hardin County. Again, that's why we're live right now with tornado warnings in our viewing area. So there's a look at some of the smaller communities that still could be impacted. I know when you look at that, you say, oh, that really doesn't tell me a whole lot, right? Well, that's why we look inside the wind product, which is the velocity, shows a speed inside the storm, which was pretty intense there for a while. I think you've finally seen the worst of it in Nixon and Counts, but there's still some areas of rotation. Again, tough to tell. It looks just like a lot of straight line winds coming in. Maddox, Lowryville, Big Ivy, and maybe over to Lutz. There's maybe the most rotation is right there between Big Ivy and Martin's Mill. So, but that's again crossing the county line. Kind of go back a couple of scans on that. So looks like some pretty intense winds though, regardless for that area. All right, there's our hail core still sitting here tonight. Looks a lot better using the Memphis radar. Let's go ahead and pull up our Camden radar on that and see what it's picking up. Looks like it's showing the hail way down to the south, so I don't know if it's getting some interference or whatnot up north, but it's not getting any of that stuff up north, so not getting any more information from that one. So here's a look at our, again, severe thunderstorm warning until 9:15. Up north here, east of Paris. Down to the southeast, north of Decaturville. Jordan, if you want to get some graphics set up, and we'll let you come here and man the wall here in about 5-10 minutes, okay, bud?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so we've got some thunderstorm activity over into Madison County, Henderson County, as well as Henderson itself. And then, again, our new severe thunderstorm warning is this one. I don't really see a lot of lightning. It looks like it's weakening as it's approaching Selmer. But we still got that intense storm, still that tornado warning there southeast of Savannah. But if you're in this area, if you're Gibson County, Crockett County, Haywood County, your severe storm threat's over. And I think even here in Jackson. So everything's going to be east of Jackson for the next couple of hours. Maybe even the next hour and a half. Probably looking about 10:30, I think is going to be a wrap-up time for us. And again, if you were hoping to watch the Oscars, unfortunately, you may have to catch a replay. If you can't, go to abc.com or download the ABC app. So here's a look at the thunderstorms from Middleton, Hornsby over through Henderson. This line down south still pushing through northern Mississippi. And then there's a look at the intense thunderstorm moving into Hardin County. Up north here, that's the wind line. It's finally moving east of the Tennessee River. So you've seen the worst of the winds into Paris and Puryear, but you got some pretty large hail there into northern Henry County. I'm in a chat group up there. I'll check it here in a minute. I'm sure that if there's photos of hail, they'll have them for me. Huntington, I think you've pretty much seen the worst of it as well. You notice the new warning is east of you. Lexington, you still got some gusty winds. You're put under that severe thunderstorm warning. I can't pinpoint anywhere along that line, though, where I see 60-mile-an-hour winds anymore. But there is some wind line approaching Selmer, Bethel Springs, Fenger, and then it looks up into Henderson as well. So the only one that jumps out, the bright colors, that's that one. The rest of this looks pretty bland, although there are still some severe thunderstorm warnings, and there still may be a couple of pockets of some strong winds gusting. I'm not seeing any kinks along the line anymore, and the line itself looks like it's beginning to fall apart. But there was the line. You can see it really well on the velocity. See where the reds and the yellows go up there? It's coming into Camden right now. So the strongest winds from this storm coming into Camden and Holiday and Lexington. You're probably getting the worst of it, but to me it looks like 30, maybe 35-mile-an-hour gusts, worst case scenario for you from what I'm seeing on the radar. And then moving right through Henderson in the last few minutes as well. Kind of back off here. We'll go down south, and let's see. We can kind of extend that line. So you see there down through Camden, Holiday, Lexington, Henderson, Middleton. So you can't pick it up as well down south. It's just not as well organized, but there's the line, the gusty wind line coming up here. So east of Lexington, down through Henderson, east of Hornsby and Middleton. So if you're watching us in McNairy County, Scotts Hill, Morris Chapel, and even into looks like Hardin County, you still got another round of thunderstorms on the way. I don't think they're going to be anywhere as near intense as the one moving through currently, but do see a lot of lightning showing up. 300 just with this one. Let's just look at this one storm. It's got 300 lightning strikes, and still a couple of areas of rotation. Now let's go ahead and put this on a 30-minute loop. We'll slow it down. All right, that's as slow as it'll go on our loop. So this is the one that was rotating earlier. You notice there was a couple areas of rotation. The first one that we were watching was that area south of Savannah. That's over here now past Hardin County. Second area of rotation came up out of Pickwick Dam. That's pretty much dissipated. And there's a third area of rotation coming up. This may be another tornado warning that gets issued with that one. So that's what's showing up along this little this supercell, loud little supercell. Again, the worst of it's probably heading over into Collinwood here in about 15 minutes. But if you're watching us in Savannah, your severe threat's done with that one, but you still may have some gusty winds coming up behind it here in a little bit. So that's that one for you. Again, up north here, you've seen the worst of it's passed now through Paris, Henry, and Dresden. Down south, so Jackson, you saw it came through a little about 8:15. We had that line pass by, approaching Henderson now, extending down to the south. So we still have the cold front to come by. That's this on the back side. There's one last round of some weaker showers, I think. So you can pick up, so there's the cold front itself. Not a lot of moisture left for it to work with. Most of the thunderstorms going out in front of it. And look on the backside, that is snow that may try to wrap back around here on the system. But look at this lightning line extending now from Louisiana all the way up. We have the only tornado warning right now here into Henry County, and then extending all the way up north. But look at the snow even wrapping back around on the backside. So here's the futurecast. So by 10:30, we're expecting everything to pretty much clear on out. We could have some lingering light activity on the backside of the cold front, and then there may even be a little bit of snow flurries tonight. We're not expecting much, no accumulations, but there could be some flurries tonight into tomorrow. Here's another forecast model showing the worst of it clearing out here by about 10, 11 o'clock. Forecast models are about an hour ahead. Storm energy chasing off to the east as well. So here's our setup behind this cold front. Much cooler air on the way. This big area of high pressure as it comes in is going to drop temperatures all the way down near freezing tonight. We could be as low as the teens as we get going into Tuesday morning. That'll smash the cold temperature record there on Tuesday. There's what's left of our severe weather threat tonight. So it looks like they've really trimmed it down west of Madison, not only on the winds, but on the tornado threat as well. And then, so the hail threat. So that's all kind of being cut off from the west here. So freeze warning that goes into effect tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. and we'll get another one out as we get going into Tuesday morning. We're going to head back over to Max 2, and we're going to give Jordan a little bit of time at the wall to break things down. I'm going to get a drink. Jordan, go ahead.
All right, good news, folks, is we just got an update to the tornado watch. Actually, most of our western counties along the Highway 51 corridor, your tornado threat has been deemed over. However, if you're still in the yellow, you're not quite in the clear yet, but we're going to start to see some more of these counties cleared out over the next few hours. Now, behind this front, and even already starting now in some of those counties out of the tornado watch, temperatures are going to start to crash. We've got a freeze warning out that is going to take effect at 4 o'clock overnight tonight. Here's a look at live radar, and we're going to take you a little bit around West Tennessee. We still have that active tornado warning, but with a day like today, they said they were not going to cancel things early unless deemed necessary. We'll take a look over at the storm moving out of Henry County and Benton County over into Stewart County here very shortly, but that is going to be a pretty significant hail core that's going to make a close pass to Paris Landing State Park. Joel, could you tell me what that the wordage on that is? It's probably going to be at least quarter because we have a quarter-sized hail report from Big Sandy, but would not surprise me if it's up to maybe 1 1/4 inch of hail. Got a little bit of lightning on that one. We'll take things down south to our tornado warning. That is actually the area of rotation, I believe, is actually starting to cross into Wayne County, but this is the area we've been concerned with, or this is the newest area of developing rotation. The old rotation is beginning to cross over into Middle Tennessee, Wayne County there near Lutz. What we have right now is a little bit, it's broad, it's there, but it's broad right to the west of Big Ivy. We just see a little bit of green against a little bit of red, and that's what we've got. Here's the newest severe thunderstorm warning stretching from eastern Madison County, Henderson County, down to the Mississippi state line for eastern Hardeman, Chester County, most of McNairy County. This, again, is one of the weaker warnings. That leading edge stuff over into Hardin County really did a number in weakening this storm. There's not nearly as much juice left in this one, but we did query a few of the wind pixels. Still capable of producing some pretty strong winds, especially up in southern Madison County. That sample taken near Meaden registered a 67 mile per hour. But this, again, we're a fair distance away from the Memphis radar, so this is sampling probably 2,000 or 3,000 feet above ground level. So that 67 mile per hour wind may not be making it down to the surface, but we've definitely seen enough damage reports, enough power outage reports to know that very well could make its way all the way down to the surface. The 50 and 51 down here near Hornsby and Middleton, respectively. That's still pretty intense. Not quite severe, but it's intense, and it could cause some minor damage here across West Tennessee. Here's a look at that energy that I showed earlier. It's starting to really wind down, especially west of Highway 45. It's almost completely out of Madison County. Basically, if your county is not currently covered in red, you're done for the night. That's going to include Lake, Obion, Weakley, Gibson, Dyer, Lauderdale, Crockett, Haywood, Tipton, Shelby, Fayette. Most of Madison, but not quite everybody just yet, off to the southeast towards Henderson. Henderson, the city, and Henderson County are both still dealing with a little bit of storm energy. But as this starts to wind down, we're going to start to see some things really start to wrap up for West Tennessee. We're probably going to be done by 10 or 11 o'clock. Futurecast, actually the latest Futurecast, has it well into Middle Tennessee, even the northern portion of the line east of Nashville by 11. But check out this. We may see some flurries tomorrow morning. Temperatures are going to crash down to the mid or low 30s, maybe even some upper 20s in some areas. But temperatures also not going to rebound very high. We're going to look at temperatures probably only getting up to about 34 degrees tomorrow at the warmest. And Futurecast is trying to tell you a story here. We're looking at temperatures flirting with destroying the record low for Tuesday morning by about almost 10 degrees. We've got it at 18. The old record is 25. And that is very, very much a possibility Tuesday morning. But we'll start to see spring come back later in the week. But we'll start to re-rack some of these graphics, give you one more look around the region. And it is looking like we're starting to see this little system wrap up its time here in West Tennessee. Let's actually see if we can take a look outside on our Savannah camera and see what we've got in the area right now. It's going to take a few seconds to boot up, but that's okay. I've got to actually, looks like Max 2 may have frozen on me, Joel.
All right, let's head back to Max 1 then. As I said, the systems have seemed to have been overloaded today. We'll let Jordan get that back up and give him another go at it here in a minute. All right, so here's what we're looking at. Again, everything's out of Madison County, besides just a couple of lightning strikes. You're done in Gibson County. You're done in Obion and Weakley County tonight. You're done in Henry County. It looks like Camden, though, you still got that line coming through with some heavy rain, gusty winds. Our tornado warning is out for another 2 minutes. So there's a chance we might be able to head back and at least catch some of the big awards there at the end of the Oscars if you've been waiting to watch that. If not, again, if you have, I think, cable service, abc.com. But we'll see about that. As these storms clear out, they're starting to weaken some. We've got a little bit of heavy rain still moving south of Henderson over through Selmer in Lexington, and our tornado warning again should expire in just about 2 minutes. We have a severe thunderstorm warning out till 9:45 still. That does include Lexington, Henderson, Selmer, but really not seeing any sort of extreme winds in that little line. And here's our tornado warning, again, out for about another 2 minutes. I don't see them extending this from the National Weather Service out of Nashville, but look at that hail core that our Doppler radar was picking up. Some intense hail that did go through there. A lot of winds here. I just don't see anything tight enough to reissue the tornado warning, and you see the Weather Service in Nashville went ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning for winds from this one, as it will be moving over into their area, crossing out of Hardin County in the next couple of minutes. So up north, this is pretty much out of Henry County. Still some heavy rain through Camden, Big Sandy into Benton County. That's still continuing. Here's our line extending down to the south. You notice the whole line kind of bowing out a little bit, but I can't even really find it on the reflectivity anymore, showing you that it is weakening there south of Lexington, including, again, it's past us here in Jackson. But I can kind of see it if we zoom things out. So Camden down through Parsons, Selmer. You got some gusty winds coming into Selmer right now. 60 seems on the high side. We'll take a look at the velocity here in a minute in that area. But there's still a couple of kinks along the line, so still worth watching. But there's just the energy seems to be minimal, even if it does develop a kink to get a tornado, at least along the line. That one cell into Hardin County was working on it. It was kind of doing its own thing. Wasn't really associated with the main line. That's why it was able to strengthen, I think, as much as it did. All right, here's the winds. The wind line now east of the Tennessee River, east of Kentucky Lake area. Camden, looks like you've seen the worst of it. You can pick up that wind line heading into Scotts Hill, Parsons here real soon. Kind of seeing the worst of it coming through Lexington and Henderson in the last 10 minutes. Doesn't look too bad for you. And then Selmer, look, here's the worst of the winds coming in for you with the line. Moving through Selmer, Raymer right now, then approaching Mickey, Stanton, Adamsville here in about 5 minutes. And then one last push through Hardin County, but that Hardin County atmosphere has really been worked over. I'd be surprised if you saw severe thunderstorm type winds with that line. There can't be much energy at all left to work with there after what you had just come through. But the tornado warning has been allowed to expire, but we still have that big severe thunderstorm warning tonight from Lexington down through Henderson. Jordan, you ready to give one more run at it, or did you pull up that camera?
Which camera did you want to see, Savannah?
Well, yeah.
We can try it one more time, but that's what caused it to crash on me. We'll give it another whirl, see how it does.
We'll see. If it crashes, I can keep going. We're like the, we'll see. There you go.
But it still got some lightning there off in the distance.
A lot of lightning there.
That's the second line coming in to Savannah there off to the west. But we'll start to see this again. We had that first line come through, the tornado warned storm. That is going to eat up a lot of the available energy, the available shear, everything, even the moisture. There may be a little bit of residual moisture left because there was a bit of a gap and we still have southerly winds on the surface, so may have been a little bit of a return for these storms to tap into, but it's not going to be enough. Again, we did have a pretty significant cut to the tornado watch. It's still out till 11 p.m., but actually all of our western counties have been cut out of it: Lake, Obion, Dyer, Lauderdale, Tipton, and Shelby. And again, as the night progresses here, probably within the next 15-30 minutes, we may see another slew of counties cut out of this, but it's going to take a bit because that line, especially south of I-40, is dragging back to the west. So that's going to hinder the SPC from allowing Memphis to cancel the watch. But we still have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings. One for Benton County. We'll zoom over into that one. But that hail core has moved over towards really closer to Fort Campbell. But that wind line, like Joel said, is well into Middle Tennessee here across Kentucky Lake. There's still a little bit right there on the Benton-Humphreys County line just north of Highway 70, but again, this is where the hail core was a few minutes ago. It's not there anymore. We are looking at things changing pretty quickly. Tornado warning for Hardin County was allowed to expire at 9:15. Again, that rotation started to, it's already drifted into Middle Tennessee. It's also started to bow out just to the north of Collinwood. And as we take a look at what's going on here over Big Ivy, there is still a little bit of broad rotation between Big Ivy and Lutz, but it's not going to be enough for a tornado warning, especially considering this county line right here between Hardin and Wayne County. That's Memphis's. That's the border to National Weather Service at Memphis. They can't go any farther east than that. Here's a look at that other severe thunderstorm warning. This is what our Savannah camera is pointed at. This cluster of lightning you see right here just to the northwest of Selmer. That's what we were looking at just a few moments ago. It's not a lot of lightning, but it's pretty intense lightning. It was lighting up the entire screen there. And this is still about probably 20-25 miles away from our Savannah camera. So these storms are tall tonight. We did get some scans, some slices. These storms got up to 50, 55,000. I don't think we got up to 60,000. It got cut off at the top of the screen for me. But these are some particularly tall thunderstorms, which means updrafts were strong. That means we had some pretty strong storms here. And we'll take another look at some of these. These are about 10 minutes old, these samples, but still. 67 miles per hour near Meaden, still capable of producing some damage here on the south side of that storm, but we're looking at things starting to wrap up. We don't have the active tornado warning. Our severe threat's starting to wrap up. We still have a couple warnings.
All right, real quick, Max 1 for about 15 seconds, and then we'll head back to the Oscars. Should give you time to at least hopefully see some of the big awards that are coming up. Are we going to continue online, though? Will someone let me know? All right. So we're leaving ABC right now, but we are going to stick around on our live platforms, Facebook Live and our YouTube channel.